I believe we are live. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we are here with a live stream. Shout out to Notification Gang in the building. I see you, Dragon Knight, Craig Jackson, DeAndre Fields, Ruthless Squad Gaming, Hus 23, Mike, and a couple more just getting in here. Let's start with that intro.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What's up? Shout out to everybody in the gang already. 70 plus people in here. We got to talk about this Nakobe Dean stuff because he was playing alongside of Zach Cunningham in practice. There were multiple different videos. I only got one available to talk about today, but I did hit somebody up who's not going to give me the exact answer. I don't want to act like I'm a legit insider source, but you've seen some of the people we talked to on here, and it looks like if Dean is ready to go versus the Jets, they're going to give him the nod. That's not saying we will not see Nicholas Morrow. I believe we see a little bit of everybody. Again, the Jets want to run the ball. They don't want to throw the ball with Zach Wilson. That being said, we might see some 4-3 base packages, some heavy packages featuring Dean, Cunningham, and Nicholas Morrow. If you are watching this on the rerun, help your boy out and hit that like. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on notification bell so you're here with the 85 that's been here for 2 minutes. Shout out to everybody in the building. Again, we seen some footage early in practice of
I know you're not going to.
wrong one. In practice of Nakobe Dean getting some, if we can play it, Nakobe Dean, this is all messed up, but Nakobe Dean getting some reps next to Zach Cunningham. And again, a source inside says that if Nakobe Dean's ready to go, they're going to implement him into the game. Is it the right decision? Nobody knows the right decision. Only what transpires on Sunday versus the Jets would be to tell if it was the right decision or not. Look, I have high hopes for Nakobe Dean, but I watched what Nicholas Morrow did. A lot of the conversation from Nakobe Dean and Nicholas Morrow is about who covers better, right? Like, some people are advocating for Nakobe Dean to be a better coverage linebacker than Nicholas Morrow, although Nicholas Morrow ranked 12th prior to this week. I haven't checked PFF and all the next level stats and marks that PFF gets on grading a person's coverage grade. We only seen a half of Nakobe Dean. So whether you love what you saw in the preseason, you love what you saw in the Patriots game, which I don't think we loved that much of anything in the Patriots game, for the simple fact that Mac Jones went for over 300 yards and was slicing them up. Wasn't really every play on Nakobe Dean, but again, the middle of the field was wide open. Don't know who was at fault until I go back and watch. Again, that's 5 weeks ago. Was it Zach Cunningham? Was it Nakobe Dean? But that's neither here or there. The Eagles got to feel confident whoever goes out there on the field. That's the bottom line. And we saw Nakobe Dean earn that start in training camp. He lost it. Nicholas Morrow has now earned that playing time that was awarded to Nakobe Dean, has been now re-awarded to Nicholas Morrow. So we heard what Sean Desai said yesterday, right? He has a role for all three. Let's listen to this clip because this one's better and I didn't mess up on it.
I know you're not going to tell us exactly what the plan is once Nakobe gets back, but can you foresee? I guess philosophically, are you open to having all the linebackers play? And did you see enough from Nick that you think maybe there'll be a role for him once Nakobe does come back?
Yeah, I think really, yeah, that's a great question. Really, at all the positions, yes, we do see roles for everybody, and that's kind of how we train our guys. You know, they all got to be ready, and there's so many different situations and so many different combinations of things that we can get to that the more talent, the better. You know, the more decisions like that we got to make, the better it is for us.
Which is all true. And like I said, I don't know the right decision right now. Me, I'm all for the hot hand. I'm all for chemistry, consistency, needing these linebackers and secondary members to get on the same page. So I'm all for keeping Nicholas Morrow as the starting linebacker, giving Nakobe Dean his reps in base packages, right? When we have two linebackers on the field, deservingly, it should be Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow. When we do go to our three linebacker looks, the 4-3 look in the red zone for red zone defense, in a package where it's 3rd and 2, you were able to, sub in personnel to get your heavy package on to go ahead and stop a New York Jets 3rd and 2 up the middle with Dalvin Cook, with Breece Hall, who ran hard on the Broncos last week. Again, we the second best team to stop the run this year thus far, only allowing 3.4 yards a carry or something like that. That being said, I'm cool with bringing him in for that, but two linebacker sets, it's definitely hard for me to fathom Nicholas Morrow losing time after playing as good as he is. Again, we're talking about a guy who came in and filled a role for, 3.5, 4.5 weeks. Is it sustainable for Nicholas Morrow, right? Like, there's a lot of questions that could be asked to the coaching staff, which should have a better answer than what we have, right? Yes, we've seen him on Sunday for 4 weeks without Nakobe Dean, but they see him every single day. And so if we believe in guys like Sean Desai, Nick Sirianni, then we also got to give them the benefit of the doubt if they make that decision. Now, we can judge that decision based on the results. If Nakobe Dean goes out there against the Jets and looks lost, well, now it's like, are you letting the draft status? Are you letting the fact that you didn't see the talent in Morrow early on in training camp and preseason, the fact that you let him go and brought him back, luckily, on the practice squad, is that influencing your decision? Then we got to look at it and say, go back, or why'd you do it? What's wrong with you? I still got to wait and see. Philly Jackson said Nakobe Dean looking to get his groove back. Look, again, what if Nakobe Dean, listen, we all were super hyped for Nakobe Dean in the preseason, in training camp. If he comes out there and has a 10-tackle game with a sack and a half and he gets a couple PBUs and he's looking right, well, then nobody's mad. It's the fact that the coaching staff got to make the right decision. We can talk about what we think is right. And again, I'm all about that culture. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to fix it. And so I probably would rock with Nicholas Morrow on 2-backer sets, but I would put Nakobe Dean in 4-3. Like, we've seen 3 linebackers play in a play. Rarely because of all the hybrids and the safeties we use and blah, 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 and the fact that teams have been down. But I think the Jets come out with some heavy personnel. So this is a game that you can probably play Nakobe Dean, play Nicholas Morrow, see who is better without really being put on the spot of who did they play more snaps? Who did they play as their top 2 linebackers? There's a scenario of that as well. Now, let's look at something real quick. I do want to pull it up again. This is just some of the stuff that has been floating on Twitter. Again, my source said that Nakobe Dean looks to play versus the Jets, and it looks like that's the way the coaching staff will be leaning Cunningham and Dean. Things could change, and if it does, I'll let you know for sure. But let's actually look at this real quick. I don't know what I'm very unprepared for all the Twitter up, Twitter down stuff. Here it is. So the Eagles have the linebacker duo of Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham back together. Again, this does not mean that they will be playing together. My source told me that before this clip came out, here's what I'll say. Before this clip came out from Dave Zagaro and Chris Franklin, before all the clips of Nakobe Dean and Cunningham came out, my source did text me like Nakobe Dean is about to get a full practice and watch him play alongside or watch him practice alongside of Zach Cunningham. So I get the text after I message him. I get the information back. he's going to play the majority of practice alongside of Cunningham. I said, interesting. It's Wednesday. He's back. They activated him. He's practicing alongside Cunningham. And long behold, Dave Zingaro, Chris Franklin put out clips like this. And so, again, right or wrong, we will find out. The Jets' offense, passing-wise, is putrid. They're going to try to run against us. There's no way that Zach Wilson should get hot in this game, but you actually never know, to be honest. The fact being that Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham playing alongside, we'll see how that tandem is. Good or bad, ugly, sad. Shout out to my guy Bald Eagle with the $2 super chat.
EAGLES Eagle!
My guy said we got to trade for Hunter Renfrow. Trade a 4th or 5th for him. My man is trying to still upgrade this offense. I know a lot of people do not like Quez as the third wide receiver. I don't think OZ gave us anything to be like, we need to go ahead and upgrade on the third wide receiver. I think OZ played very well in the limited snaps he got. I would never be opposed of getting a dynamic playmaker and Hunter Renfrow in the slot, especially if we're talking 4th or 5th. But some of the trade options that Ed Kratz presented to us are pretty darn interesting. Again, Bald Eagle with the $2 super chat. He gets 2 more entries into the jersey giveaway October 29th. Every super chat dollar gives you 1 entry. That's 2 entries for Bald Eagle. Hunter Renfrow, he's a baller. I'm not sure. Cal Bunny said, Mike, we know it's Dave Spadaro. Look, look, I do talk to a couple other people because of Dave Spadaro. And Dave Spadaro, listen, the one thing you should know about Dave Spadaro, he never really gives an answer. He's always going around the question. So I'm not going to say it's him. I'm not going to say it's not him. But just from watching we've had him on like 7, 8, 9 times. A lot of y'all don't like how he bounces around the question. So you think he's really going to give me Nakobe Dean is going to start? Now, could he say something to me that makes me think that? We should get him on. Maybe we can get him on before Sunday's game. If not, a little bit after Sunday's game, maybe we can see what Nakobe does do if he gets that starting position. It should be very interesting, to say the least. I do want to go over some of these trade packages real quick, but I do want to hear what y'all got to say. Red Who said we about to be 2-6. Wait, we about to be 2-6-0 though. I don't know what that means. Darius said, "Oh my bad." To the cow turd, yes. Well, we don't need to talk about them at all. Dom H said he took this personal. Who took it personal? Harper, yes. Go Phillies for sure. Philly got to stay up. Bald Eagle with another $2 super chat.
EAGLES Eagle!
Renfrow is very good for the red zone. Yeah, well, yeah. He's definitely going to be able to. As the red zone shrinks, as Brian Johnson was talking about it, right? It shrinks. You got to play more of an East and West game in the red zone. We know all that. He's definitely good for them little quick outs, quick ends, things of that sort. But I think that if you put DeAndre Swift in the game, in the red zone, it's going to up our chances because he can catch out of the backfield. He's a tougher runner. As Nick Sirianni points out, watching the tape, right? What is his big factors of not performing in the red zone? It's being bad on 1st and 2nd down, inside the 10, inside the 15, not the high red zone, but the low red zone, being bad on 1st and 2nd, and trying to make up for it all on 3rd down. So put the better running back in who has more yards per carry on 1st and 2nd, and things change. Let's look at this stat real quick on Kenny G and Swift. If you didn't see yesterday's video, last night around 9 o'clock, I dropped a video on a couple different points, but here it is. Red zone drives where Kenneth Gainwell gets a touch. We've got a field goal, a touchdown, a turnover on downs, a field goal, end of the game, field goal, end of the game. Mind you, both end of the games, we were trying to end the game. So it was a good scenario. Who knows what would transpire, but we didn't get touchdowns on there. And again, they were fourth quarter, and the Eagles elected to go Kenneth Gainwell over DeAndre Swift to end the game. So for times we actually tried to score, the Eagles are 1 of 6 when Kenny G is on the field alongside of Jalen Hurts. Now, again, who knows what happens, right? Kenny G don't affect what goes on with the wide receivers in a missed throw or blah, blah, blah. But still, the fact of the matter is, 1 of 6 when Kenny G is on the field. He probably got touches on that series that could have impacted it. Again, first down, you run with Kenny G, only gets 1 or 2. Where maybe Swift gets 4 or 6, and it makes it easier for the receivers, Jalen and blah, blah, blah. Red zone drives where DeAndre Swift gets a touch. Field goal, touchdown, 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 field goal, field goal. So 6 of 9. That's a big difference. 1 of 6, 6 of 9. You hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift on first and goal. He runs it 5 yards up. Now you're looking at a 2nd and 5, 2nd and goal. Kenny G gets back to the line of scrimmage, gets only 1 yard. Now you're looking at 2nd and 9, 2nd and goal and long. And so these different things make the next play call different, makes the next play call different. And so it's not all Kenny G's fault. Play calling has been a part, missed opportunities from Jalen and the receivers. However, that big of a discrepancy, you're talking 6 of 9 in the red zone when Swift is on the field compared to 1 and 6. I can't chalk that up to just pure luck or pure coincidence. First and second down, especially with Nick Sirianni harping on the first and second down stuff, right? I do want to talk to you about this before I get to some of y'all comments. Jason Kelce was on the podcast he has, New Heights, and he was calling out the NFL for the brotherly shove, and rightfully so. They are trying to find a way to ban it, and it's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. Let's pull it up real quick. I'm going to let you hear what they had to say. Where is it at? Oh, Baldy had a crazy breakdown of Jalen Carter that we'll go over in a little bit. I don't know why it's lagging. Cindy Brown got a legit practice. With that being said, it's good to see. Let me turn it down. Cindy Brown, can he play this week versus the New York Jets? That would be a good sign if we can get Cindy Brown back, for the simple fact that now we start to see more what this secondary looks like. Roby, Brown rotating in the slot, Bradbury, Slay outside all day, every day, and then you got Evans and Reed Blankenship at the safety position. Mix and match when guys get tired, but Cindy Brown added back to this secondary that played really good in the second half of, I don't know why my thing's messing up. Am I lagging? Are we lagging? Are we back to being good? I think we're good. Let me know if we're good in the chat. Can y'all hear me? All right, we good. I don't know what happened. Like a light flash and no lag, you're straight. I thought I was lagging. My thing was not moving like anything. But anyways, listen what Jason Kelce had to say. He really believes that they're going to be players and defensive coaches having people fake injury just to get this brotherly shove banned for next year. Can't do nothing about it this year on our quest for that ring. However, they're looking at the injuries that it could start, the injuries that could start happening due to that play, crazy. Listen what Jason Kelce had to say.
Here to stay for 2023. I know that 2 Giants did get hurt last week. I will say, I've been watching quarterback sneaks for a while. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, like injuring his kneecap, there really haven't been that many injuries on this play.
Yeah.
But if there's a way that this play is going to be outlawed, this is how it's going to be.
This is it, yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm worried about is if I'm a defensive coach, any of these that I can like have a guy like go up limp on because I'm planning ahead for next year to try and stop offenses. I'm telling you, I swear, I guarantee guys are going to start faking injuries. It's going to start off minor injuries at first, but they're already thinking about how can we get this outlawed for next season? Because that's all they're doing. They're just complaining. And now guys are going to start faking injuries, just like they fake injuries in situations to stop you from going bolt. And it's nonsense. It's not a play that has been historically a higher injury chance of prevalence.
Well, we don't want to get you riled up.
Here to stay.
We don't want to get you riled up, said his brother Travis Kelce. But I totally agree with him, right? Like, it is ridiculous
2023
that they're trying to go to this extent, right, to really shut down this play. Absolutely ridiculous, if you ask me. It's a quarterback sneak with a push. So the pushing of the quarterback is the big factor into this play being very high injury risk. The push, mind you, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years, when Drew Brees and Tom Brady were killing the quarterback sneaks, if they got over on first push, nobody pushed them. But if they didn't get over the first actual dive, the first actual attempt, their players behind them, whether it was offensive linemen, running backs, tight ends, they pushed them too. We pushed a pile when a running back goes up the middle. After the initial lunge of every quarterback in the last 60 years, there's always a push. There might not be an initial push, but there's always a push on a quarterback sneak if the initial lunge doesn't get there. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Again, Zach Cunningham, Nakobe Dean could possibly be the starters this week versus the Jets. Peter Riley, what's going on with you? He said Jason Kelce is right. I totally agree. Tab Kelly, some machine men or injured these bros. Look, it's ridiculous, the complaining, the level of pettiness via the NFL, some of these coaches. Like, look, we going to have a Jets content creator on the channel tomorrow. Listen, we will be live at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Mark that down on your calendars. It should be up later tonight. Me and Matt O'Leary, one of the biggest Jets content creators on YouTube, Matt O'Leary, will be talking about the game, but his head coach, Salah, talking about we going to be there. We going to put a hit on Jalen. We going to give him 11 kisses. That's how he said it. He's saying all 11 members of the defense is going to give him a kiss. That's pretty pause worthy. But he said 11 kisses every time Jalen Hurts tried to do that brotherly shove. Okay, it's not as easy as you think. A lot of people have tried to do something. But when you got the personnel, when you work on it like an actual play and don't just line up and push, it's a lot different. A lot different. Now, look, I want to go to this real quick. Shout out to everybody in the building. King of Philly said brotherly shove is the Eagles' WWE finishing move. Finish him. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's pull this up. Ed Kratz, with the NFL trade deadline just 3 weeks away, let's have a little fun and take a look at 5 trade proposals for the Eagles and more. You let me know. You let me know which one you like the best. I'm not saying these are going to happen or blah, 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 blah. However, let me know. The first one, I want you to grade the trade 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Quez Watkins, and a third-round pick to the Carolina Panthers for safety Jeremy Chin. The Panthers aren't going anywhere, and Chin is in the final year of his rookie deal. Chin is listed on the Panthers depth chart as the nickel cornerback. Perfect. Can play safety, can play nickel. Now you got Brown, Roby, and a guy that can grow with your defense, right? We got the guy. Roby's 31. He's here for this year. Slay and Bradbury are here for the foreseeable future, but not long term. We got to start thinking about the future, but, the most important thing is about the here and now because we got a Super Bowl contender roster. 1 to 10. Rate that trade. Watkins and a third-round pick for Jeremy Chin. Let me know in the comment section. Let's go to the next one. I do want to get some of your input before I go to the next one. 1 to 10 on the Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin for a third-round pick. And Quez Watkins. Also, hit that like button. Over 270 in the building. We can get it to at least 150, close to 200 likes. I know we can do that. We see a 9, a 8, a 7. Eagles Nest Cub said 2. He don't like that. 8, 8, 7. Okay, 8, 7, 8. They're coming in with some 7s and 8s. Pretty consistent there, except for Eagles Nest. He don't like the trade. Rave 123 don't like it. Sean Paul channel member in the building. He said 8. Romulus said 7. Ryan Rowe 8. And Tice Raymond 8. Bald Eagle said 100. He said sign me up for that. Let's look at the next trade per Ed Kratz. Jack Driscoll, Quez Watkins, and a third-round pick to the Los Angeles Chargers for Asante Samuel Jr. and a day 3 draft pick. This is probably a long shot because the Chargers are sitting at 2-2 and certainly still believe they can make the playoffs, but they lost receiver Mike Williams for the season with a torn ACL, so adding more depth at the position might be something they would consider. I didn't even think that there was a chance to get a guy like Asante Samuel Jr., who we all loved in the draft. However, getting Landon Dickerson paid off in bunches. That's part of the reason why we have the best offensive line. 1 through 10 on this number 2 trade proposal. Now, again, some of y'all thinking this is way far-fetched. He himself said it's a long shot. These are just proposals. He's talking about, again, Driscoll, Watkins, a third-round pick for Samuels and a day 3 draft pick. You're talking probably a 4th or 5th. Asante Samuels is nice. I don't think they would do it. That's why he said long shot. But I see a lot of y'all saying, y'all don't really, that one's like a 4. 3, 4, 4, 2, 6. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Hopefully we're caught up to where everything is. He's also said Samuel, who is the son of former Eagles standout, former 3-time Eagles cornerback Asante Samuel, also is signed through the next year of his rookie deal, and who couldn't use a player like Driscoll, a rock-steady player who's in the final year of his rookie deal and may even be able to unseat Jameer Saylor, a 23-year-old former 6th-round pick at right guard. So they're saying you get Quez for depth at the wide receiver position, you replace your right guard with Driscoll, and you get a 3rd-round pick. It's interesting to say the least. He said, all that said, a 2nd-round pick may be required to prize Samuel away, and that may be too rich for Roseman. So he's saying that even still might be too much. You might have to drop a 2nd instead of a 3rd. Let's go to number 3. Jack Driscoll, a 4th-round pick to Arizona Cardinals for Budda Baker. The Cardinals safety has won it out for some time now, and while a 4th-round pick may be low, it could go higher depending on how much of the contract Arizona picks up. So for everybody saying Buda Baker's too expensive. Well, according to Ed, you would offer a 4th-round pick with Driscoll, and if the Cardinals say a 4th-round pick, we want a 3rd, we want a 2nd. Well, then to move it up to a 3rd, to move it up to a 2nd, it would be you got to eat some of that salary, which now makes it more beneficial for the Eagles where you get a top-tier safety for Driscoll and a 4th, but you got to pay all that cap and now you're broke. Or you do Driscoll, you move that up to a 3rd, maybe even a 2nd, but guess what? Half the contract is now split down the middle. Arizona can eat that half a contract this year. They're trash. They beat Dallas, though. That being said, they eat some of the contract. The 4th goes up to a 3rd, maybe a 2nd. But Buda Baker, I think, is everybody's target. You get him. Now you got Evans as a depth piece, right? Evans can play in the slot. Now you got depth everywhere. You got some solid depth behind the starting cornerbacks. You got solid depth at the safety position and the nickel position as it pertains to Roby, Brown, Evans, Buda Baker, and Reed Blankenship. Sheesh. Again, the initial trade is Driscoll and a 4th, but to make them take some of the salary, Ed Kratz is offering moving to pick up. Let's see what else he said. Baker is 27, is scheduled to count for $18.5 million against the salary cap in 2024. He can be released prior to June 1st, and there would be a cap savings of about $14.6 million. But why trade him, then cut him? There's no doubt he would be a great fit for the defense, though. So again, he talks about how expensive a guy like Buda Baker would be. That's why you would go ahead and turn that 4th into a 2nd. Does it hurt us? Yes. It's not that great to give up a 2nd. But now maybe he don't cost 18 mil. Maybe they eat some of that. And maybe you can find a way to work it out long term, because you don't trade a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, if you're not going to make sure you extend the player. Shout out to my guy, Brian Weeks, with the $2 super chat. Let's hear it.
Eagles! Eagles!
Forget Driscoll. Send Quez and Barnett. Look, definitely. But I do think Driscoll has value, right? To us, he's a solid backup guard, backup tackle. But to a lot of teams in the league, if he was on the roster of, say, the Cardinals, the Chargers, he would be starting. He could start probably half the teams. Because of his versatility to play guard or tackle, this dude could start for 15, 16, 17 teams in the NFL. Some at tackle, some at guard. For us, he's a depth piece. That's why I think they would want him. But real quick, shout out to Brian Weeks. He gets 2 entries into the jersey giveaway on October 29th. Every Super Chat dollar gives you 1 entry. 2 for my guy Brian Weeks. Knight Rider with the $2 Super Chat.
Eagles! Eagles!
What do you think about Harrison Smith? Harrison Smith, I would definitely want to look over the contract, right? Older guy, still think he has it. Quality guy that, again, price, contract, how many years he has on it, that all factors in. But Harrison Smith is still a name that you put him on the Eagles, it's an upgrade. You're upgrading. Or you're at least getting some high depth. I like Harrison Smith still. I believe he's still on the Vikings. The Vikings are, some teams got to be sellers, some teams got to be buyers. In 3 weeks, I think the trade deadline is on Halloween. It might get spooky out here for some people. And as LB says, trick or treat, ski mask Howie. Trick or treat, ski mask Howie. Knight Rider also gets 2 entries into the jersey giveaway October 29th. Every Super Chat dollar gets you an entry. He got 2 entries there. Let's go ahead and finish this up and get to the last couple of trade scenarios. And then we're going to bring it back to the chat. Know what I mean? And we gonna chop it up. Let's go to number 4. Watkins and Driscoll to the New York Jets for Mecole Hardman in a 6th-round pick. The Jets lost right tackle Elijah Vera Tucker for the season, so could use an offensive lineman while they also look for a way to replace Elijah Moore in the slot. Hardman was supposed to be the answer, but has fallen out of favor for whatever reason. I don't really like that one. I don't think it's the most urgent position to go ahead and upgrade. When you look around who's available, what holes the Eagles have, you give up Watkins for Mecole Hardman. Are they the same player? Now you lose depth at the offensive line by giving up Driscoll. And what are we really doing there? I don't like that. That don't do nothing for me. Mecole Hardman, probably better than the Quez Watkins we have now. The version of Quez we have now, the dude who can't, the version of Quez we have now on 3rd and 2. Where is it at? On 3rd and 2, catches the ball with perfect blocking from your 2 other receivers. All you need to do is utilize your speed here. Pick up the first down. He goes outside and loses a yard. Don't understand that one bit. We got another super chat from my guy, Sean Paul H. I should have grouped these things together, though, so it doesn't take me that long to get there, right? I got to go to the YouTube thing all the way over here, then go all the way back up to the Eagles thing. So I got to be better for the live streams, grouping the soundboard stuff together.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
My guy Sean Paul with the $5 super chat. Love the content, but make sure you got my dollars right for these entries. I put up 20 every Sunday, 10 before the game and 10 after. Listen, it's what YouTube calculates it all. So what happens is I can go to any stream. I can go to each live and click a button, and it tells me every single super chat given. So that's what I do. I go there and I say, Sean, 10, Sean, 2, Sean, 5, Sean, okay, that stream, he got 25 entries. Add them all up. We going to do the live little virtual wheel, and the best man or female wins. He said before the game, 10 after the game. Yes, shout out to my guy Sean Paul. He just got another 5-piece into the jersey giveaway on October 29th, which is a Sunday. We play the Commanders. I don't know if I'm going to do it during the game, after the game, in a separate video, but it will be on the 29th. Let's get back to the actual last trade possibility, and then we going to chop it up. So the Mecole Hardman thing, to me, no me gusta. I saw a lot of y'all say 1, 0, -2. Listen, I agree with y'all. I totally agree with y'all. The last but not least one, and this is my first time reading these. Like, I saw the article. Shout out to J.R. Williams on Twitter. He tagged me and a bunch of Eagle content creators. I think LB, 500, Castro, a bunch of us. Anyways, number 5, a swap of day 3 picks with the Las Vegas Raiders receiver. A swap of day 3 picks with the Las Vegas Raiders receiver Hunter Renfrow. So we swap day 3 picks and receive Hunter Renfrow? That sounds dirt cheap. Another long shot, if only because Renfro's contract is ridiculously expensive, so something would have to be done about a deal that has him counting $13.1 million this season and $13.7 million next year against the salary cap. Also, the Raiders, despite sitting at 2-3, probably still believe they can make a playoff run, though that seems improbable. This one seems like the hugest long shot, just because of the money not really adding up. The fact that Bald Eagle wanted him, and he said about a 4th or a 5th. But we're talking about swapping day 3 picks and getting Hunter Renfrow. So how far up in difference is the day 3 picks we're swapping to get Hunter Renfrow, who's expensive, but it is what it is. They are the 5 trade proposals. I'm going to make something that I have trade proposals I will be dropping closer to the deadline. We are still 3 weeks away from the deadline, so I don't want to just, drop them now. I want to see, a lot of stuff can change in the next week or so. Teams that were competitive can not be competitive due to back-to-back losses, due to injuries. So I want to really look at the teams that are legit buyers, which we are going to be a legit buyer. We're 5-0. We buyers. But there could be some more heavy hitter players on teams that are becoming sellers the next week or so. 1 big injury, 2 straight losses, somebody getting fired. Hey, we can find out that this team is definitely selling and they got exactly what we want. So I'm going to wait and see where all that adds up to. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Shout out to my guy, Brian Weeks, with a $5 super chat.
EAGLES Eagles!
We're just fine at receiver. Get some help at linebacker or secondary. By the way, I'll be at the game in the Ghetto Lands. So I know what he's talking about by Ghetto Lands, a.k.a. FedEx Field, a.k.a. our franchise quarterbacks tries to get to the locker room and almost gets crushed by a railing and fans due to the conditions of the Ghetto Land. So, hey, listen, if you win, don't worry. You can always, not only am I going to do it that day, if you're occupied at the game or whatnot, I will post a Monday that a screenshot, a snapshot of the results. And, it's all going to be fair at the end of the day. Listen, like I said, y'all just super chat to get your point across, your super chat to show support, your super chat to get me tipsy. I thought the least I could do is give something back. Shout out to my guy. And hopefully we're still undefeated by the time that game is. That would be even more interesting to say the least. Robert said, I wouldn't be surprised Monday or Tuesday next week with some new player art on our team. Listen, this team is living its best life. Social media wise, the spirit in the locker room. These guys are having fun for sure. Fun for sure. Mike sounds okay, not under the weather. Oh, not today. We good. Tone Chosen talking about Bryce Harper. He is different. I got to catch a little bit of that for sure. Rave123 said Renfrow is your goal. Renfrow, if your goal is to make straight Hail Marys, doesn't make sense for the Eagles. Yeah, I think that it's an upgrade at the wide receiver 3 position, really pass catcher 4, but it's not nowhere near a necessity. Swollen City Fitness and Hunter Renfrow is nice, but not 13 million nice. That's big facts. Rimo said how he's going to pull some trade that none of us see coming from miles away. Yeah, but I guarantee you, I can't guarantee you it's going to be something flashy, but I do believe the roster will be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Look at the quickness in which Howie Roseman acted for a slot receiver, a slot cornerback, a slot DB, just to free up Bradbury, just to make this secondary even more versatile, right? Seeing the injuries with Sidney Brown and company, he acted right away, and it was limited options, but he got the best one. We saw what Roby did, right? Not only Roby, we saw what Sean Desai and these guys did the second half of the Rams game, right? We just can't be overlooked what they did. Let's pull it up one more time. The Eagles defense made Matthew Stafford go 9 of 20 for 75 yards and a 55.2 passer rating in the second half. 0 points. Big time adjustment from Sean Desai. Roby versus the Rams, after being signed 5 days ago, 5 targets, 2 catches, allowed for -4 yards. Sorry about the lagging. I got too much stuff up. I got Filmora up. I can't shut it all off now. But so much stuff up, it's lagging. At least it's lagging on my end. I don't know if it's lagging on your end. 5 targets, 2 catches for a -4. Impacted the game 5 days after the signing. That's an A++ from one Howie Roseman. A++ from one Howie Roseman. And I see people talking about Justin Simmons as a option, and the Broncos defense is bad, for sure. However, Patrick Surtain is still one of the best cornerbacks in the game. It's the defense overall, and Simmons is a quality safety who has a pick this year, I believe. Last 2 years, he had 11 picks combined. So you're talking about 21 and 22. He combined for 11 picks. This Eagles defense has still been one of the best defenses at getting turnovers, right? We get turnovers. So why not add somebody who can help in that mix? Again, as Rimo said, it really might be a trade on the table that none of us see. Howie Roseman, we didn't believe that. Nobody's seen the Robert Quinn signing trade, right? Now, granted, the last couple years with off-season signings and whatnot, Howie Roseman has been very, very good. The Robert Quinn one didn't work. He wasn't productive. He got hurt. Came back, it wasn't productive. It was a waste of a 4th-round pick. You're going to miss some. But not many people seen it coming until it was here. Like, you might have knew about Robert Quinn's availability 3 days before the trade is. So that's why we can't sit here and say these are the only options. We still got 3 weeks to see what teams go up and down via injury, via record-wise, via management getting fired. But the Eagles do take the ball away like no other every single game. Every single game. Besides the Commanders, we've got to take it away. Every single game, we've got to take away. Starting with the first week, second week, third week, the Commanders was crazy, and we had our opportunities to get a takeaway for sure. Just couldn't get it done. But in the Rams, we got a fumble recovery. We took the ball away. Oh, no, we didn't get a fumble recovery. We made him fumble. I don't know. Everything is lagging, so I'm not playing no more video. Forget the videos. Too much lagging. Let's get to my guy's super chat real quick. Cordarius Kid, it's been a long time, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through, showing love. Let's go get that Eagles chant.
EAGLES Eagles!
Everything is lagging. I got to go ahead and reset this. I should have been did that, but you know me. When I do a live stream on Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, it's so just throw it on and get right to the point. Cordarius Kid with the $5 super chat. He said, go and send that jersey my way, boss man. I really think Howie has to trade for Justin Simmons. We need it. That is the guy that I think a lot of fans are starting to say perfect fit. 29 years old, contract. Broncos looking to just part ways with anybody for picks. They will eat some of his contract. We're not going to get that hefty salary to go ahead and maintain. They will eat it, some of it. So I think he's actually like a perfect trade scenario for what we need, who's available, and all that. Real quick, though, shout out to Brian Weeks. Forgot to say this. $5 for Brian Weeks in the jersey giveaway October 29th. Not $5, 5 entries for Brian Weeks. Also, we got 5 entries for Cordarius Kid. My man's feeling confident. He said, send that jersey my way, boss man. And again, if you guys want a Kelly Green has been, weird with what's available, but we're going to try whoever wins. The color, the player, we make it happen. I make it happen. Ryan Rose said Justin Simmons can help out at the safety and developing load management and moving around the ball for guys like Sidney Brown. You do a lot for a lot. It really would do a lot for a lot. Beauty is her name. Said, Mike, do you have a P.O. box sending out some holiday gifts to my Eagle content creators? I stay slacking. I need to get a P.O. box. I don't have one. I do have a secondary thing you can send it to. Beauty is her name. Are you on Twitter at all? If you're on Twitter or IG, DM me, and then I'll figure out a place for you to send it. But I do got to get a P.O. box. A lot of people want to send me stuff, whether it's, this, that, and the third, and I got to get with it. I definitely got to get with it. With all that being said, we're going to end this in about 10, 15 minutes. Shout out to everybody who came through. I had a couple graphics, a couple videos ready to play. It's been lagging. Everything on my screen's been lagging, but y'all been tuning in, staying with me. Again, we started this out as it pertains to Nakobe Dean might start. Again, I got a source that I talked to. He did not guarantee me Nakobe Dean is starting, but he told me that Nakobe Dean will be taking snaps at practice with Zach Cunningham, and he said that to me prior to Dave Zagaro, Chris Franklin having a video. So here's video. Turn it down. Here's video of Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham getting snaps together. But what was told to me prior to this video coming out was that Nakobe Dean's going to get snaps. He's going to play the whole practice. He feels good. And the Eagles are going to use him against the Jets. They're going to play him against the Jets. They did also say that Morrow will play. I prefer Morrow start, and when we go heavy personnel, when we go base formation, get Nakobe Dean in. 4-3 look, 3 linebackers on the field, get Nakobe Dean in. 2 linebacker look and nickel or dime. Morrow and Cunningham. That's just who I am. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the coaching staff are with these guys day in and day out. They see something in Nakobe Dean. If Nakobe Dean gets to start over Nicholas Morrow, whether it's against the Jets, whether it's against the Dolphins, Washington, whoever, whenever, wherever, if he wets the bed, because we haven't seen him play a whole game, he's been nicked up a lot. That could just be his MO from now on. We got to see. The best availability. Wait, how's it go? The best ability is availability. I don't like messing up what's going on at the linebacker position, but it's looking that way. It's interesting. Very interesting. Now, again, it's only Wednesday. Things could change. I like what Nicholas Morrow's been doing. But we will see who's right, who's wrong by the play of Nakobe Dean if and when this happens. Again, the source exact words to me were Nakobe's going to get a lot of snaps next to Zach Cunningham today. That happened then. The video came out about an hour after he said that. And then he said it to me like they feel confident that he go out there and start. So again, didn't say he is the starter. No ifs, ands, or buts. But by hearing that, seeing that, and just the way it's all been playing out, reading the tea leaves, I don't know. We will know if the coaching staff is putting Nakobe Dean out there solely on his draft status and blah, 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 right? The favoritism of we like Nakobe Dean more than we like Nicholas Morrow. We didn't believe in Nicholas Morrow, so now we got to stick by our guns. If Nakobe Dean wets the bed, then it was more of that. If Nakobe Dean goes out there and plays high-quality linebacker, well, then the coaching staff just saw that, knew that. Remember, they're with them all through training camp, all through preseason, even now. So if Nakobe Dean's not looking as fast, as quick as Nicholas Morrow, they'll get him up out of there. They should get him up out of there. I think Nick Sirianni has been good with it's not the same old, if you're I think there's still favoritism for sure with Howie and, this organization. But I think they've been good at pooling guys, replacing guys. Look how they did with Eric Wilson, right? Like year one of Nick Sirianni. Like, I think they've been good at, man, he doesn't deserve to be in there. Get him out. Move him over. Look at that. The Bradbury experiment is over quickly, right? They've been good at saying, we can't see no more of this. Let's move on. Let's switch back. Let's do this. Let's do that. Favoritism is real for sure. And if you watch the bed, then it looks like that's what it was. They got him his spot. But I am with y'all. I believe in two backer sets, it should be Nicholas Morrow until otherwise. But if it is Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham, I better see something. If I don't see something, they better go back. Or they better have not made the change. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's all I can say at that point. Teddy said Dean should not start. K. Robbins said no, it's favoritism. Rabe said Eagles definitely want the pass rush Jets game. The pass rush and Jets game. Yeah, but how many times is Zach Wilson actually going to draw back and throw the ball? I think it's going to be a heavy Russian performance from the Jets. I think that's going to be one. Hey, Breece Hall is nice. However, we're one of the best Russian defenses. So go ahead and line up power sets. Go ahead and line up that you want to run the ball. It's not going to be easy. You ran for $170. They ran all over the Broncos. 31 points the Jets put up. 9 from the defense. Listen, we got 300 people in here. If we could take a moment and hit that like, I will greatly appreciate it. Let's try to get it at least over 200 likes. Do your boy a favor and let's get it over 200 likes. Also, at 4 p.m. tomorrow, I will be live with a New York Jets content creator. Stay tuned for that. It should be up later tonight. Go ahead and hit the notify. Do whatever you got to do to remember. I'm going to need Eagle Nation in there because it's going to be live on both channels. It's going to be live on his channel. So Jets Nation is going to be in there talking their talk. I'm going to need Eagle Nation to come through too. You know what I mean? I'm going to need y'all to be Philly strong in the chat. We going to discuss what his coach said about the brotherly shove. We going to discuss what he believes the game plan's going to be, this, that, and the third. But we're going to start doing that. He reached out to me, first of all. But I'm slacking. We're going to start getting a content creator on for each team we play prior to the week. We're going to try to. Busy weeks, dropping videos and doing this, that, and the third. Red Who said Morrow's coverage is a little suspect, though. I mean, he's ranked 12th. Right? A lot of people on Twitter are talking about the coverage of Nakobe Dean is way better. I've seen him make a couple good plays, but I've also seen him give up some leverage. Nicholas Morrow ain't the lockdown cover guy either, but he's still ranked 12th according to PFF. Prior to last week, I don't know where he dropped to last week, but in 4 weeks, he was ranked 12th. All that being said, I don't know if Nakobe's fully better. He's the better athlete on paper, but look what Nicholas Morrow has done. Like, you can't knock what he has done at all. At all. Legacies of Lewis said Oz needs to start over Quez. I'm with you. Philly 215 said I think Dean's going to surprise a lot of us. I'm hoping he's as good as advertised because if he is, should he be better than Morrow? Yeah, if he's as good as advertised, the production that Morrow has gave us should not drop off. It should be equal or better if he's as good as advertised. However, the coaches that look, if Nakobe Dean gets a start, which I believe, according to my source, again, he didn't say 100%, but he gave me the nod that, hey, looks like he's starting because he told me that this was going to happen in practice, them together in reps with the first team before it happened. All that being said, if Nakobe Dean starts, the Eagle Nation is going to be like, we made a mistake. But then we could see the game and say, oh, look what he did. We're not going to know if it was good, bad, ugly, sad to make the move until the game is over. Until the Eagles and Jets game over, we win, then we can go back and look at what Nakobe Dean did in this defense. But I am with everybody who says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm with you. I believe in Nakobe Dean as a future member of the linebacking group, a key member. But do I believe him needing to play week 5, week 6, week 7? Does he need to take reps over Morrow right here, right now, I don't got nothing proven he does. There's nothing showing, right? Because there's not much tape. Well, what tape are we pulling? 2 halves of the Mac Jones, 2 halves of the Patriots game? There were plays in there where Dean played out of position, missed tackles. I don't think he got beat man-to-man per se. I seen him cover a couple linebackers. A couple tight ends pretty decent in that game. I went back and watched a little bit of the half throughout this week, knowing that we were probably going to have to talk about this sooner or later. I think that if I wouldn't do it, but if the Eagles coaching staff do it, which I believe they're going to, with what I've heard, then we gotta see who's right. I'm for the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Pro fan talk in the building at worst. Morrow has set the bar for Nakobe Dean. That is a fact. And if it is all a tested out, right? Like, if it is all Nick Sirianni and Sean Desai saying, we saw something special in Nakobe Dean this offseason. We saw him. He's been there. He knows the defense. He's great. He's good. We believe in him. Well, if there is, you don't want to test Nakobe Dean playing big snaps against the Miami Dolphins. Let's be honest, right? If we're talking about Nakobe Dean is a upgrade in coverage, you don't want to test him out versus the Dolphins at all. So there's a lot of reasons to get Nakobe Dean on just because he won the job first. He showed him something. He's back healthy. But I wouldn't do it. And if the Eagles do it, I'm going to say we both have, me, y'all, and the Eagles differ on that opinion, on that topic. But I can't say Philly Mike and you guys are right until we see what Dean does do, right? This was our number 1 linebacker going into the season. Zach Cunningham has played well. Nicholas Morrow has earned minutes. According to Sean Desai, they're all 3 going to play, though. Like, there's still going to be room for Nicholas Morrow. I would be perfectly fine if week 5 versus the Jets, in nickel formations, it was Morrow and Cunningham. In 4-3 base packages, where the Jets bring in an extra tight end, a fullback, somebody in the backfield, right? When they go heavy personnel, 12-man personnel, 13-man personnel, okay, here comes Nakobe alongside of Morrow, alongside of Cunningham. I'm cool with that. If it's the opposite, then as Pro Fan Talk said, the bar set. Nakobe got to be that or better. Chris Perez says, how many points are we favored by? I didn't look at that yet. But everybody on the NFL picks is taking the Eagles, of course. Never lost to the Jets in franchise history. Zach Wilson is not good. They can run the ball. Breece Hall's nice. Unfortunately for the Jets, they're going up against a juggernaut when it comes to stopping the run. One of the best teams in the league, the Eagles. Brian Weeks with a $5 super chat.
EAGLES Eagles!
We'll never forget how the Jets were head-hunting Hurts during last year's preseason game. Yes, and now their head coach, Saleh, is already talking about low-key head-hunting Jalen Hurts on the brotherly shove. We're going to talk to Matt O'Leary at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Remember, 4 p.m. tomorrow, we will be live with a Jets content creator to talk about the game, the good, the bad, the ugly, get his take on his team, blah, blah, blah. Robert Saleh tried to make it cute, though. Pause. Instead of saying we're going to go headhunting for Jalen Hurts, he said every time he lines up in the brotherly shove, he's going to get 11 kisses. Pause. Don't know why he said it like that, but he means 11 hats, 11 hits. All 11 players are going to be focused on number 1. 11 kisses, he said. Pause. We going to see how that plays out for sure. Shout out to Brian Weeks, though. He got 5 more entries into the jersey giveaway on October 29th. Every Super Chat dollar gives you one entry. We got another Super Chat in the building.
EAGLES Eagles!
DBK with a $5 Super Chat. Let's go. Eagles, aloha from Hawaii. There we go. I like that. DBK living in Hawaii, being an Eagles fan is good to see for sure. DBK just got 5 entries with his $5 Super Chat into the jersey giveaway October 29th. And listen, you win, DBK, we going to find a way to get it to Hawaii. We definitely going to try to find, we going to get there. We going to get it there. Jesse said, yeah, Salah worded it that real awkward. Exactly. He's trying to say we're going to headhunt Jalen Hurts, but making it not as whatever by saying we're going to put 11 kisses. Stop it. Let's knock it off. Witch King saying people saying Dean is too small while Morrow is basically the same size. Yeah. I don't think Dean's too small, but his body has not held up, right? Injured in training camp. Injured the first half of the season. See, to me, Nakobe Dean got to show us that he can stay healthy. That's number one. He got to show us that he's better than Morrow. That's number two. The coaching staff see way more than what we do. But we also know there's favoritism in that locker room and whatnot. So again, is it the wrong decision to start Nakobe Dean over Nicholas Morrow? To me, yes. But if it happens, I'm not going to classify it as a wrong answer until I see the results of what Nakobe Dean does. Nakobe Dean come out here and get a pick 6, a fumble. We all changing. Well, we're not changing, but we're like, okay, now we got Nicholas Morrow and Nakobe Dean. However, Nakobe Dean to the Eagles is the future. Nicholas Morrow is working to get another contract. He's on a 1-year deal. Earning a long-term contract with the Eagles, and Nicholas Morrow's not old. But the Eagles could be thinking that Nicholas Morrow has been playing over his head, and it's eventually going to come back down to the reality where Dean has the potential to play that and higher. I don't know. I'm at the Eagles, but the source that told me, and y'all know I have a little bit of connections, and I don't love, and listen, I'm not the one that just automatically says, I don't make stuff up, and I'm not one to try to get information, but I've been curious about this. And he made it sound like this. He told me this was going to happen at practice, them matching up and getting a lot of reps with the ones prior to it happening. And then, so we going to see for sure. Jonathan Barnett with the $2 super chat.
EAGLES Eagles!
Jalen Carter, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, that is a fact. That is a fact. Like, there's no rookie on the defensive side that's winning it over him. Not Will Anderson, not Brian Branch, not Christian Gonzalez, all having decent good years. But no sirree Bob. He's like negative 300 now. If you go and try to bet Jalen Carter for Rookie of the Year, if you bet $10, you're going to win 50 cents. You bet $20, you're going to win like $1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost locked in for him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's up there with the possible All-Pro selections. Jonathan Barnett gets 2 entries into the jersey giveaway on October 29th. Trying to give back to y'all for sure. Danny Samson, Mike, you don't watch Phillies? I do. I know what's going on right now. And today, I'm gonna tune in after that. I just had to get this live stream out. I don't watch the Phillies like I watch the Eagles or the Sixers. But I do tune in every so often throughout the season, and especially around this time. For sure. Go Phils. Red October. All that good stuff. Johnson, Dean wasn't rushed last year. Why rush now? True. I agree. Jesse Carter is looking like a Hall of Famer through. That's big facts. Ethan said he does, but he's more dedicated to the Eagles. Red Who said Hurts got to be careful on them QB scrambles. He needs to scramble and look to pass sometimes. I agree. That whole ankle. Hey, if you didn't watch my video yesterday, we showed the picture and the video of that ankle being sideways. It was scary, but Hurst looks to be good. Definitely got to watch all that. Listen, we hit over an hour. It's about 8 o'clock. We got 370 in the building. Listen, I want to say this to the 370. My source pretty much told me Dean's going against the Jets and will play next to Zach Cunningham. Nicholas Mara will get plays too. But they're going to go with Dean unless there's a setback. I don't believe it's right, but we won't find out it's right or wrong until after the game. That being said, going forward, if Dean ain't playing up to standards, Sean Desai, Nick Sirianni, they're not bad up there. They're going to get it back to where it needs to be. Maybe they should never risk it because chemistry, cohesion, and all is perfect. I agree in that. But it looks like we're going to see that. Hit the like button for me on my way out. If you're just getting in here, we did more talking about all this stuff. What do you call it? In the beginning of this stream actually got messed up a lot in the sense of a couple lags. I tried to put some video and the video wasn't good. You know, it is what it is. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. I do want y'all to remember tomorrow at 4 p.m. I will be live with a Jets content creator. It's been a while since I talked to a content creator from the opposing team, not in the NFC East. And so we're going to have that one-on-one, some good dialect there. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And if you are just joining an hour and 10 minutes into the stream, well, if you want to be here next time when the cool kids are here, I'm just kidding. Y'all all cool kids. Hit the like button. Well, no, forget the like button. Y'all already subscribed most likely. Turn on that bell. That bell lets you get a text message when Philly Mike goes live or upload. You know what I mean? It puts you on the next level with the Philly Talk podcast. Appreciate the love and support. William said, I think we should try and trade Bradbury for a younger and better corner. Didn't think that would come up anytime this year. 3 weeks to the trade deadline. We went over some big trades too. 5 trade proposals we talked about. Stay tuned in the video. I'll talk about some of them trade videos. I'll talk about some of them trade proposals and have my own trade proposals coming up. Not this week, though, because there's still 3 weeks until the trade deadline. I want to get closer to maximize the video of every possible scenario that could help out the Eagles. There'll be some trade talks like we did yesterday with Justin Simmons, and we talked a little bit about it today. Appreciate all the love and support. Hit the like. Tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Turn on a notification, gang, so you'll be there tomorrow at 4 p.m. And until next time, y'all know what time it is.